Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We're streaming live simultaneously in 3 different places. The Heavy on Jets Facebook page to over 30,000 New York Jet fans. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. And on my Twitter account, @BoyGreen_25. You could also find it at BoyGreen25 as well. Everybody, this is a show by the people for the people. Throw those questions in there. Rookie Minicamp day number 1 is in the books. We still have 2 more days of Rookie Minicamp that run through the weekend. Plus, Robert Saleh spoke earlier today. He also is set to speak tomorrow. We'll dive into that as well. I will probably, like I said, try to explain this on every video. The reason why I'm in a couch on a recliner is, of course, my knee. My leg is robotic at this point, from the hip to the ankle. It is quite painful, but we are powering through, and this is how we'll be doing most of these shows moving forward until otherwise indicated. So, guys, feel free. Let's rock it, baby, and let's keep it everything rolling. Let's say hello to a couple of people. First off, before I say hello to the great people, the free way you guys can show your support for the show is by liking the video on YouTube and hitting subscribe. We're trying to make a chase to 5,000 subscribers. We're about 200 and change away, so every little bit helps. So feel free to do that. Also on YouTube, the YouTube Super Chat feature, where you get your comment in there, and it's guaranteed to get answered here on the show. I try to answer all your comments, but let's roll in. We got Aaron. Paulie, my guy, hope that knee of yours is feeling all right. Quite painful, actually, a torn ACL. Very painful, but we're powering through, baby. Very painful. A lot of medicine, and we're trying to do what we can. JC Jet fan, Paul Boy Green, even a reconstructed leg won't stop him. Love it. Absolutely. This is a robot leg, and it gets reevaluated in about 2 weeks. So we will see then. But it's about a year to fully get back from it. So just like Brees Hall and all those guys. JZ Jet fan, let's all hit that like on the way in. Yes, hit that like button, baby. Absolutely. Jacob Finnegan, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Ragnar Jet, dude, we've got some serious athletes in speed. 100%. I'm really excited about a lot of these rookies. We got to hear from most of them today at the rookie press conference. I'll give you some of the highlights from those, including this one. I'll dive right in on this. Will McDonald. Let's actually do this. We'll reveal the jersey numbers for the rookies, and we'll talk about a little bit of them to start today's show. I will say this off the top, that all these rookie jersey numbers I'm about to show you are, as the Jets say, subject to change. So just because we have these numbers right now doesn't necessarily guarantee these are going to be the numbers by the time the season rolls over, or heck, even by the time Jets training camp. So let me hide your comment real quick, Ragnar. We'll show you the Jets rookie jersey numbers that just came in. Here it is from the Jets. All right, so let's go through piece by piece here. So we got Will McDonald with 99. Awesome. We'll talk about the history of that in a second. Joe Tippmann, 66. Carter Warren, the offensive tackle out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, let me reset with their colleges just in case for some of the people don't know. Will McDonald, Iowa State, of course, the Jets' first-round pick. He gets 99. Joe Tippmann, the Jets center, second-round pick out of Wisconsin, is 66. Carter Warren is the Pittsburgh offensive tackle. He's 67. Israel Abanikanda, who looks like, Izzy, number 25. Again, my number of choice, Boy Green 25. Zaire Barnes, the Western Michigan product, 53, linebacker, safety, kind of versatile dude. Jarek Bernard Converse, 29, the former LSU product. And finally, Zach Kuntz, 81, the tight end. 81, a good number. Dustin Keller had that great 81 for a while. Right off the top, this was an interesting little nugget. Will McDonald was asked, of course, 99, that's a historical number. Obviously, in Jets history, Mark Gastineau, of course, Will McDonald did not know who Mark Gastineau was. But hopefully in due time, I was talking with Connie Carberg, the first female scout in NFL history, of course, the legend among Jet fans, of course. And she said she'd love to teach like a Jets historical course. It'd be kind of a cool idea for rookies coming in to learn about the history of the New York Jets. I would love that because obviously Will, this young kid, right, does not know about Mark Gastineau. So hopefully they can learn the numbers, and hopefully there's a little bit of history when selecting the jersey numbers and having some of that in there. I think that'd be pretty cool. So those are the numbers. It sounds like Will McDonald. Sometimes when you're talking to these rookies, you can kind of tell if they're only like not really going to take the number. Will McDonald started his Iowa State career with 99, so he could be keeping that number. He's kind of a speed rusher. That'd be a fun number. I mean, 99 is a sexy number. You have all the offensive line numbers again. I love personally 25. Joe McKnight, rest in peace. 25 was my jersey number in high school, so I like that as well. And then Zach Kuntz, the Dustin Keller number. That one I really like a lot too. So they're your first initial reaction to the jersey numbers coming in. Love that. Snowball with Row Boy Green. Oh, should get that on a t-shirt. We could probably sell some action. Snowball, I'll have to give you your royalty checks for that one. Paul Michael joining us on the Facebook page. Let's go. What's up, baby? Jeff Abramo, excuse me. Paul, get well soon, my guy. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the support, guys. This is awesome. Ragnachat, Paul Speedy Recovery's up and is up and up just like the Jets. That's right. In due time, it will be a very long process. I don't start physical therapy for another couple weeks where you really start working the legs, so to speak. I'm kind of parked in this recliner with minimal movement for the foreseeable future. But hey, man, you just got to keep grinding, commit. It's a very painful both surgery and rehab, but we can't give up. It's going to get tough. Yeah, just like there's going to be moments during the Jet season where things get really intense. You just got to power through. Mr. McMoney here. Paul, get well, bro. Thoughts on week one opponent? Great question. Of course, we have the NFL schedule release. Again, I don't know if this date is official, but I believe it's supposed to be next Thursday, May 11th. We'll be doing a live show for that. So, guys, mark your calendars whenever it comes out. The schedule should release around 8 o'clock, and we will go live at 8 o'clock to react to the schedule when it comes out. Even if it leaks earlier, we'll still go live at 8. Great question. Let's pull up the Jets opponents real quick. So we got Jets opponents for 2023. So we know the opponents. We just don't know when everyone's going to be. I'll throw that up on the big screen so we can kind of talk about it here. Yeah, here we go. Let's put up. I'll hide your comment real quick, Mr. McMoney. Let's throw this up. This is from the Jets. These are the opponents that the Jets have both home and away. Again, it's a phenomenal schedule because there's so many sexy teams. I'll just mention some of the sexy ones off the top. Philadelphia Eagles, they were just in the Super Bowl. You have the Chargers, they have Justin Herbert. Of course, the Chiefs, you have Patrick Mahomes. All the divisional games have a sex appeal, of course, with Josh Allen and the Tuas, and then the Jets-Patriots thing. Of course, look at some of these road games. Dallas Cowboys, America's team. The Giants, you have that Jets-Giants thing. You have all the extra Jets-Brown stuff with Elijah Moore and Deshaun Watson and all that stuff. So when I look at this and I go to answer your question, I factor in a couple of things here, Mr. McMoney. Number one, I've heard some of the people say Jets, Giants, Monday Night Football, and that'd be great. September 11th, that'd be a pretty magical moment to kick off the season. No doubt about it. There'd be a lot of gravitas there. So I could understand that one. So that one's on it. Personally, I'd probably go divisional game, to be honest with you. Like a Jets-Bills, that'd be a great way to kick off the season. I think the Jets are getting prime time. I think it's either going to be Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football for sure. I think they're getting one of those two to kick off the season kick it off with a bang. So I could see that. And that's kind of my gut right now is Jets-Bills, Sunday or Monday Night Football to kick off the season. I think Jets-Cowboys, as Peter King has talked about, is going to be one of the quote-unquote top 5 draws of the season. Now, I don't think you have to quote-unquote waste that week one because really, for a lot of these teams, you could put kind of anyone in week one and it'll be fine. Jets-Cowboys, some could be built around a pretty big, week 5, Jets-Cowboys or whenever. So I think they could probably wait on that one. Jets, Giants against could make sense with the September 11th, but my gut says Bills. Although there's a lot of sexy games on here. There's going to be a lot of primetime games for the Jets, so get used to it, fans, for sure. Let's go to this one. Can we talk about the Cowboys? Yeah, again, America's team, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. They got all these sexy players on the team, so I see this one, Jacob Finnegan saying Jets Dallas Sunday Night Football. That could be a fun one. That opened up the season a bunch of years ago. I think that was the last time the Jets were on Sunday Night Football, to be honest with you. We had Jets Cowboys. That was the Des Bryant, Darrelle Revis interception, Nick Folk game. We had the Isaiah Trufant, right? The block punt for a touchdown, right? Jets Cowboys. So yeah, that was sexy. Yeah, again, that'd be fun, obviously. So you could start there for sure. But a great way to start this off. So yes, I think my gut says Jets Bills, but it could go obviously in a lot of different directions. Tony Alexio. We hope Will McDonald perform like Mark Gastineau. Of course, obviously, a sack master. That'd be beautiful. Dark Soldier, hit him with the Kuru. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Yeah, let me get a couple of comments in here. So I cut up all the comments. Of course, you guys can hit me up on the Twitter. It's scrolling on the ticker, @BoyGreen25. One of my shticks is making sure I cut up clips for you guys from the Jets press conferences and stuff. So in case you miss it and you can't watch like a 20, 30-minute press conference, I hook you up by, just giving you the deets and making sure I give you the highlights. So going through some of these, I'm going to go to a bunch of the clips I cut up earlier. We may play a couple here on the show, but I will say one that I love and should fire up all Jet fans. Yeah, we'll play this up here on the show. Is that there's a fire here from Aaron Rodgers, and you can feel it. So we're going to play this quick clip. This was one of my favorites from earlier. And again, we'll try to do a couple of YouTube clips on some of these as well. But I'm going to throw this clip on, and this one fired me up. It absolutely fired me up. This is from Robert Saleh saying he believes there was a fire in Aaron Rodgers' eyes. Let's roll the footage. Let's go.
I'm guessing when you guys had that brief window to talk to him, that you weren't pressing him about whether he'd be here for the spring program. So how nice is it that it seems like he is all in, so to speak, and he has been here already?
You know, I've as a coach, you want them all here all the time, and but just felt like for him, if he's a very smart individual, very deep and very thoughtful, and personally, and I don't know if it's the right thing to say, I was never worried about whether or not he was going to be here. I always felt like if he did want to be here, he was going to be here. If he decided to be a Jet, because he is so competitive and he does understand that he has to get acclimated to the new building. He'll have to get the receivers acclimated to him, and he'll have to get the verbiage and get everybody on the same page. So in my mind, you just see a fire in the guy's eye when you're sitting and talking to him. Like, yeah, he's going to do everything. He's coming with he's coming to win, and that's and you can just feel it in his voice. You can see it in his eyes and the way he's going about his business.
I mean, come on, people. Fire in the eye. Aaron Rodgers coming to win. You can hear it in his voice, his presence, his attitude. Like, that fires me up, baby. That freaking fires me up. Aaron gosh darn Rodgers, baby. Whew. That fires me up, man. So it's great to see that intent. Packers fans have been berating the guy for the last couple of years, have been kind of hit and miss at these voluntary workouts. And hell, even the mandatory minicamp in 2021, he skipped that too, despite having $50,000 on the line. Wish I'd be in that position. But, and I think Aaron Rodgers kind of dropped hints about it in different interviews, saying that, when you're at a place for 18 years, which he was with Green Bay, kind of gets monotonous, that, you're kind of coming doing the same thing. And there's obviously all this fresh and new with the New York Jets in terms of his reporting, like, again, where the bathrooms are, new players, new atmosphere, the Madison Square Garden, all these places he's going around here. There's just a level of fresh out of the package, which is really nice. So again, we're getting an Aaron Rodgers with a gosh darn chip on his shoulder, and that freaking fires me the hell up. So I absolutely love that from Robert Saleh right off the top. One of the first comments in this press conference was about this fire in the eye for Aaron Rodgers, which I love. And it's great. We did a video on this earlier, so I won't beat a dead horse here, but you guys can go check out the YouTube video. It's a little shorter, but Aaron Rodgers obviously had this wish list that Diana Rossini tweeted out during the offseason process. And a lot of people have been giving the Jets crap for cowtailing to Aaron Rodgers by saying, oh, man, you're signing Randall Cobb. You're signing all these guys. Like, oh, boy, man, you're really letting Aaron Rodgers run the shop up there. And to me, it's just kind of annoying because, people are just trying to dunk on the Jets at all times. And sometimes it's worth it. Right? The Jets do something stupid. You want to dunk on them? That's fine. But this is one of the dumbest things. Randall Cobb, let's just be honest. Randall Cobb ain't coming here to replace Garrett Wilson, okay? He ain't coming here to replace Garrett Wilson. He's replacing Jeff Smith. He's wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. But I love the comment that we heard earlier from Randall Cobb, and that was, hey, I'm not a 100-plus target guy anymore. I'm just not that guy. But situationally, I believe I can help the team on third down, red zone, and stuff like that. Ragnar Jet sent me this clip. I was looking for it earlier. And here's Aaron Rodgers when targeting Randall Cobb here. Yeah, let me just read this. So over the last 2 seasons, when Aaron Rodgers targeted Randall Cobb, his QBR was 90.7. He had a 71% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns to 1 pick, 8.7 yards per attempt. That trails only Devontae Adams in terms of the QBR being slightly worse than him. I mean, because Randall Cobb knows his role. He's coming in to do a job. And that's why, to be honest, I saw a lot of people comment under it on Twitter and said, hey, man, Randall Cobb in that Braxton Berrios situation, the Vikings game, he catches that ball. But even beyond that, like Randall Cobb is just so gosh darn trustworthy. And he's this veteran. He's been around. And one of the things that missing from his resume is winning a Super Bowl. And he wants to win a Super Bowl. He came into the league back in like 2012 as a second round pick of the Packers. So he's accomplished a lot in his career, but he wants to win a chip. And that's the good thing about what the Jets are attempting to do here is they're getting these guys who are ring chasing, for lack of a better word, and they're plugging in more than willing to be wide receiver 6, more than willing to be wide receiver 5. And whenever their name is called upon, they will deliver. They don't have to say, hey, give me the gosh darn ball and create like a locker room cancer or anything of that nature. Like Randall Cobb is coming here to do a job. He's coming here to contribute when called upon. And again, he's got some return game versatility from earlier in his career, third downs, red zone. Like there is an innate quality between Randall Cobb and Aaron Rodgers that you just can't teach. It's just being together for so friggin' long that they have a natural chemistry. Why wouldn't you want that in the locker room? So all the people that are like complaining about that and whining and complain, it's just ridiculous. Absolute nonsense. So to me, that kind of stuff is just stupid and kind of annoying. But we did do a video on it earlier today, which I thought was important to address from that standpoint. A couple other nuggets, also, guys. Like I said, this is a show by the people for the people. First off, like the video, hit subscribe down below. Show your support for the YouTube channel. Also, throw in your questions. So we're talking Jets rookie minicamp takeaways day number 1. We still have 2 more days of rookie minicamp through the next couple of days. Plus, there's a couple of Robert Saleh comments that kind of revved my engine that I definitely wanted to talk about here on the live stream. Let's go to one of them. Corey Davis. Everyone has been kind of back and forth on Corey Davis. Is he going to be on the roster? Is he not going to be on the roster? According to Robert Saleh, this dude is going to be on the roster. He's going to be a piece of the puzzle here. And, we'll have to evaluate the contract as we kind of progress through the offseason, of course, because, again, $10.5 million for wide receiver 2, 3, 4, whatever the, number ends up being for him, but the Jets like him. The Jets like the size that he brings to receiving core. Obviously, that was a pivot point. Denzel Mims, 6'3", Corey Davis in that 6'3" range. Allen Lazard, 6'5", tied for the biggest receiver the Jets have ever had lineup outside of the regular season. So they've got some chutzpah from a size perspective, which is really nice. So you think about the run game, you think about some red zone, you think about some of that could come to the table. So sounds like Corey Davis is going to be here, and they really like the size that he brings to the table. The other big one that Robert Saleh brought up was the offensive line. And they continue to say they're going to play the best 5. Here are the 2 positions that are locked in according to Robert Saleh. You can assume Laken Tomlinson at left guard and Elijah Tucker at right guard. Let's talk about that real quick. Laken Tomlinson at left guard. I know a lot of Jet fans are kind of hit and miss on him. They paid Laken Tomlinson a lot of money and restructured him this offseason. He can only get better. It was a weird off year. And again, if he's bad again, we could talk about it. But he's going to be playing left guard. Elijah Tucker is going to be playing right guard. So 3 positions that are up for grab are left tackle, right tackle, and center. Now, the big thing for me, if the message is play your best 5, Mekhi Becton might be screwed here, and here's why. I think in a perfect world, I'd love Mekhi Becton to be left tackle 1. I think he'd be great on the left side. I'd love to see him go back to where he was dominating in his rookie year. However, if we're trying to get the best 5 out there, Dwayne Brown is better than Max Mitchell. Let's be honest. Let's be blunt. Dwayne Brown's better than Max Mitchell, but he can only play left tackle. So if you're going to get the best 5 out there, then Mekhi Becton's got to play right and Dwayne Brown's got to play left. So that's my only slight concern. At center, we could kind of, get in a bar fight with Joe Tippmann, Connor McGovern, see who comes out. I'm leaning Tippmann's probably going to be that guy that wins it at the center position, but that's not my only fear. So it's going to be an open competition at those 3 other spots, but if they're going to play the best 5, I'm not sure if Mekhi Becton ends up getting left tackle, which I would prefer. I think it may end up being Dwayne Brown, which could be interesting. YouTube Super Chat coming in. Let's show this up from Pedro. Pedro, thanks for the support, brother, here on the show. Packers time, if possible. 2nd in 2022 at 32 minutes a game. Jets 3rd worst at 28.7 Can you describe how that will help our defense this year? Packers time if possible. Let me see if I can understand the question here. Second in 2022 at 32 minutes per game. I'm not, Pedro, you may have to send me another follow-up here so I fully understand, I guess, what you're asking. Maybe I'm not quite following this up here. Jets third worst at 28.7. Maybe points per game? Is that yeah. I'll assume. Yeah, let's go. Maybe I'm assuming it's the time of possession. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, Pedro. I see that now. So okay, they were second in time of possession. Now I understand. Okay. Can you describe how that will help the defense? Well, of course, obviously, so one of the big things here, guys, in terms of that time of possession is that the Jets offense didn't hook a brother up. I mean, let's be honest. The Patriots game is a great example. The Jets offense couldn't move a gosh darn inch. So no matter how great the defense was playing throughout the game, ultimately it was an inevitable losing battle from that perspective. So that put them up against it. So to have an offense that can kind of really bang out these long drives, they can get methodical on you. It's going to completely flip the narrative. And think about it. That Jets top 5 defense last year, it's going to be able to juice that and make that even more. It's impressive that they were top 5 considering how bad the offense was for much of the season, if we're being honest, because it was so sporadic. It was spurty. Sure, you had some of those Mike White moments where it looked pretty good, or earlier in the season when you were really running the football and doing some things. But, to me, having that great offense, first off, in home run hitting, that's going to be amazing, but also the methodical drives. Those are the sustainable ones. Those are the ones that are going to be, happening more often in theory. That's where the defense can really be more well rested when they're getting those ops, Pedro. So it's a great point, 100% a great point, and one that we're not talking about enough. But that's going to make this Jets defense even better. I think there will be a natural regression because think about it. They went from 32nd in the league, jump up to top 4. Now they're probably going to reside somewhere in that top 10, but that's still okay, especially with what you just said about the, the possession, time of possession here. I think will be extraordinary in terms of that. 100%. Another YouTube super chat here. Jay Perez, how's the leg, buddy? Which of the rookies will be either a starter or at least a 2 in the rotation? Get well. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, I appreciate you asking the leg, and here it is. Here is the robot leg here. Okay. Again, it goes all the way to ankle to hip. So this is a massive friggin' piece of machinery. It is incredibly hard to move. I am not allowed to move much, to be honest with you. First post-op surgery meeting is May 18th. So that's another 2 weeks away. So basically, I'm stuck in this recliner for 2 weeks. So minimal movement, extremely painful, a lot of medicine, a lot of pills, a lot of that kind of stuff. But it's just, again, committing to the rehab. That's what I've heard from people. The only other surgery I had in my life was wisdom teeth. So obviously a complete ACL knee reconstruction is different than all of that. But the key from what I hear from people is, again, the physical therapy and making sure that you don't half-ass that. Because if you half-ass that, according to people I've talked to, it can ruin you for the rest of your life. So it's going to be extremely painful and intense. But if you commit to that, you can get back running, again, build you faster, stronger, better than ever. And that's what I've been told. So Jay, thank you so much. Again, anybody, thank you so much for the YouTube super chats. It means a lot. Let's go to your question. Which of the rookies will either be a starter or at least a 2 in the rotation? So I fully envision Joe Tippmann starting at center. Connor McGovern is a nice floor, so nothing to sneeze at. Nice floor to have there from that perspective. So I think he's going to be a starter. Will McDonald will be, however you want to interpret it, a 2 or 3, whatever. He's going to be heavily, obviously, involved in the rotation. So he's a super talented dude. He's going to get in as a pass rusher. There's going to be plenty of ops. I think he's going to be used a little bit more frequently than Jermaine Johnson was, kind of in the same vein, obviously, that he was brought in. Let's go to another one here. Izzy, of course, with Breece Hall. I think the Jets are going to be pretty cautious with his injury rehab and bringing him back. From everything I understand, here's the plan on Breece Hall from how I understand it. Breece Hall is going to kind of be not really existent in the training camp. He's going to be riding the PUP list. They're going to be super cautious, no preseason games, none of that. But the plan is hopefully by week 1, they will take him off the PUP and he'll be ready for some level of a role in week 1. That's from talking to everyone I can talk to. That seems to be the plan. For me, that's great. That's awesome. I'd be even more cautious than that. Again, the Jets are going for the Super Bowl, baby. They're going all in. And if you're going all in, you don't need Breece Hall for week 1. Would it be fun to have Breece Hall back and scoring touchdowns all over the gosh darn place? Of course it would. But personally, I want to ride that even slower. So give me Izzy and do a rotation. You got Michael Carter, you got Zonovan, Bam Knight, you get a couple of those things all kind of aligned together. You could get a heavy rotation there. So I think Izzy is going to be a big part of this team. A little smash and dash, although Izzy has explosive home run. It's very similar to Breece Hall from that perspective. So I think he's going to get plenty of run. Carter Warner is probably going to be a swing tackle. He's probably going to be your Max Mitchell, basically, of this year. I don't envision him starting, but sometimes you draft a guy and they surprise you. So he could be. Zaire Barnes, I don't envision going to be that third starter. I think the Jets are going to try to re-sign Quan as we get a little bit deeper in the offseason. Maybe they'll get him before the practices start in about 2 weeks. True practices, not just the rookie minicamp or some of these workouts. So from that perspective, I don't believe Zaire Barnes is going to start. He'll probably be a special teamer. I love Jarek Bernard-Converse, one of my favorites. If he's going to start, it would probably be at the safety spot, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to make that kind of leap that quickly. You have Chuck Clark, he's going to start, and then they have Jordan Whitehead at this point. So that's going to probably be where they are. So a JBC, probably not. And let me see if I'm missing anyone else. Let me just make sure we don't have anybody else missing here. Yeah, well, let me pull this up. I want to make sure I get all our guys here. Okay, here is the Jets drafts. Okay, Will McDonald, again, I think he'll be part of the rotation. Joe Tippmann could start. Carter Warren, swing tackle. Izzy, again, he will be in the rotation early. Zaire Barnes, special teamers. Jared Bernard-Converse, again, rotation at safety, not much. And Zach Kuntz is the last one. Talented guy, probably destined for the practice squad, if I'm being honest. I'm looking forward to it, guys. One of the series I'm doing on my YouTube channel is called Meet the Fleet. I've done it the last couple of years where I talk to experts from wherever they came from. I'm excited for this one. I normally don't like to tease before I get the interview, but actually I am scheduled, hopefully at some point, to have the Old Dominion tight end coach on the show to give us the truth on Zach Kuntz. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we're still working with my people, his people, to try to get that interview scheduled. But Zach Kuntz, the Old Dominion tight end coach, I thought he'd provide a lot of cool insight for you guys. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, let's go through some more comments here. Let me catch back up. Again, guys, like the video, hit subscribe down below. That's a free way you guys can contribute it, of course, on YouTube. The YouTube Super Chat feature, baby, where you can cut the line and support the show as well. So feel free. King Joe here. Quan and free safety next. I could see that. Quan for sure. I think the Jets kind of like their safety room. John, we will bring you back slow, Paul, and put you on the PUP list. Okay. Or no PUP list. Okay. Breece Lightning. Have Breece on the show to get some tips for a speedy recovery. I'll be honest. I reached out to Breece in his camp just to say, hey, I've never really dealt with an ACL before, so I've reached out. I'm waiting to hear back for some inside tips or tricks. I could use all the help I could get, quite frankly, so that'd be fun. Oh, Jay Perez, thank you so much for the super chat. That's amazing. This just for the pain. Get well, man. We love you. That means a lot, guys. I can't believe the support I've been getting from all you guys. It's meant a lot. All the reactions on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, of course. So I'm lucky, to be honest. So many people, if they tore their ACL, they couldn't work right now. So I have the ability to both write stories and do YouTube videos from my recliner with this bum leg over here. So I couldn't do it without your guys' help. So God bless. Thank you so much, Jay. Really appreciate it, man. And yes, that makes the pain slightly less. Still painful, but slightly less. Jay, thank you so much. Oh, that's another good one from All Gas, No Gase. With fewer times on defense per game, I bet our top line guys get more snaps because they won't be as winded and need replacement. And that was a big criticism, obviously, with the Quinnen Williams stuff early in the year where he barked at whoever that was. Was that Aaron Whitecotton, the Jets defensive line coach? They got into that that tiff earlier in the year about blitzing and stuff like that. So from that perspective, 100% quality versus quantity. They won't have to be out there as much. And again, hopefully more juice. The other thing I love, and we haven't really talked about it much, but with Aaron Rodgers on the team, you're playing with more leads, which means more pass rushers pinning the ears back and going to town, going the business, getting that NASCAR package, getting the crazy rushers out there and just freaking going to town. And then the Jets can sick them. Again, we haven't had that kind of perspective because the Jets haven't had this great quarterback play in a long time. But to play with those leads, I think is going to be super fun. So that'd be awesome. Yes, get Brees on the show. Jake has Greeny on Monday. Oh, that's so cool. I've never had Greeny on the show before. Hopefully one day. I know Jet fans are kind of hit and miss on how they feel about Greeny, but he's one of my favorites. I love Mike Greenberg. He is awesome. He is absolutely awesome. So I will have to stay tuned to that. Jake gets good guest. Absolutely. Justin, who's going to be our 5th and 6th receiver? All right, let's pull up the New York Jets roster here. I will say right off the top, Cobb is going to be 5 or 6 for sure. He is easily going to be 5 or 6. So let's pull up a wide receiver. Okay. All right, here we go. So in no particular order. So you have Garrett Wilson, number 1, right? He's there. You have Garrett Wilson. You have Alan Lazard. You have Mecole Hardman. You have Corey Davis. You have Randall Cobb. So I just named 5. So those 5 are all there. But in terms of 5 or 6, so Cobb is 5, and then Mims is 6. 5 and 6, Mims and Cobb. Now we will see. I believe if my numbers are right, the Jets kept 5 receivers last year. So, it doesn't leave you a lot of wiggle room. But with Cobb's contract structure, he's a lock. $3 million guaranteed, give or take, and some change. So he's here. The guys who are kind of on the fence are like Mims, and then Saleh says Dave's going to be here. So Cobb and Mims are currently there. Justin. Joe Peroni here. Thoughts on Cobb? Too much to make A-Rod comfy? No, I don't think so, Joe. And again, everyone has different takes. For me, if Cobb makes Rodgers more comfortable, then why not? And in terms of the money, again, would I have liked him a little bit cheaper, especially since, the direct connection is both Hackett and A-Rod. I would have liked him a little cheaper, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to cry peanuts over this because Cobb is a really good player. He doesn't have to be Garrett Wilson. He isn't Garrett Wilson, obviously, but he's a guy in third down and red zone that's going to be super helpful. His knowledge of the offense is going to accelerate the rest of it for the group. So I have no issues whatsoever making Aaron Rodgers comfortable. You should be trying to do that. If you went, it doesn't make any sense for you to go all in for Aaron Rodgers and then kind of cheapskate with trying to make him comfortable. If you're going all in, you should do everything in your power to make him as comfortable as possible. So Cobb, Lazard, Tim Boyle, even for the offseason process, Hackett, all this stuff. Like anything you could do is good for me. And maybe we find that line where it's too far, but we have not found it yet. I am perfectly comfortable with all of that. He's just going to be, it's not going to be a lot of reps for him. Again, he even mentioned it in that one interview. I tweeted out the clip earlier this morning. Again, he's not going to get 100+ targets, but his targets will be quality reps that are very important. I ultimately believe in the game. Andre, what's up, man? Love the channel. Thank you so much, Andre. And I got a beautiful little girl right there. I love that avatar. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to see this channel blow up. The Highlander Prime. How did your leg injury occur? I was in the middle of my 4th degree Taekwondo black belt test. I've been doing Taekwondo for the last 15 years since I moved up here to New York. So I was applying for my 4th degree test. I was in the middle of a test in front of a gymnasium with a crowd, and there was a testing board. And I was in the middle of explaining husinsus, and those are grabs in Korean. It's like when someone grabs you on the street, someone grabs you by the shoulder, neck, all these kind of things. And what you have to do is you explain how someone's going to grab you and how you're going to get out of it, and then you do it fast version. So in it, it just goes to show you the randomness of picking this one technique that happened to blow my leg out. Is the technique is someone grabs me, I roundhouse kick them in the leg, and then I back spin kick them in the back of the head. And we had practiced this, me and my partner, for this, routine. We had practiced this for some time so we could get it looking pretty fast and crisp, and it looks dangerous. but obviously we're trained professionals, so it looked great. It was going to be phenomenal, but I think I just cut it a little too early. And the Korean term is a defrigi. It's a backspin kick. It's a very violent kick. You see it in UFC and some mixed martial arts stuff. But I attempted to do a defrigi. The top half of my body was violently spinning. The bottom half of my body did not spin with it. Boop. My cousin Ray. Boop. All of a sudden, the ACL blew out. I'm going to be honest. I've never blown a ligament out or anything of that nature. So I go down like a sack of potatoes. So you can hear it. I have a video of it on my phone, but I go to do the defrigi and I like outstretched because I feel like I wasn't far enough aside. And then I felt it go and I hit the canvas and I'm clutching my knee. I'm like, holy crap, this stings like the dickens. And then I like kind of go, okay. The adrenaline's rushing. This is in the middle of my test. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. I get up and the crowd goes crazy, like, oh yeah, he's fine. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be good. I start to warm up a little. All of a sudden, boop, leg collapses, knee buckles, and I come back down to the ground. That's when I knew something was wrong. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Something ain't right. And I was not able to finish my test. So I will have to finish my test in basically a year. They say 9 to 12 months recovery from that kind of stuff. So that's a story, folks. I have been doing Taekwondo for a long time. So, hey, when you get into Taekwondo or mixed martial arts, anything of that nature, any of that is prone to happen. It's part of the risk of doing martial arts. So, it happens. Trey Perez, trust me, I know your pain. Yes, 100%. Ragnar Jet, you think we'd need some interior magic improvement with Al Woods next to Q? I love that Al Woods is here. Again, he's just a big fat guy. And run defense is going to be excellent. So he's going to be a nice plug in there, which is great next to Q. And they will balance each other very well. Quentin Jefferson, another guy that's going to be in that defensive tackle rotation, brings a little bit of that juice, a little bit of that sack production, baby, coming off a 5.5 sack season with Seattle, career high. I like that. But now that you get to balance it with his former teammate, both former Seattle guys, I think Al Wood's going to give you a little bit of a bump too. Breach Lightning, is there many talk about Ruckert? Actually, Ruckert just retweeted one of the, I sent out some camp photos. They're not training camp yet, but OTA photos, and he retweeted it, and I reached out to Ruckert. There has been some talk both inside the building and also publicly. The Jets coaching staff is really high on Ruckert. They think he's going to pop. I don't know how he's going to emerge this year because it just seems like there's higher guys on the totem pole. Obviously, you got Tyler Conklin. Love that guy. He'll be back on the show soon. We have C.J. Uzomah, and both their contracts were restructured, so they're here this year no matter what. Then you have Ruckert, who was the number 101 overall pick last year. I just don't know how he just jumps the line. Again, I think a cool way to get him on the field creatively would be replacing Nick Bodden at fullback. Be that fullback, H-back guy who's got great blocking prowess from Ohio State. That's how I would get him on the field, but we'll see what the Jets coaching staff ultimately believes from that perspective. Let's go all gas, no Gase again. Cobb is a low volume, efficient receiver, perfect for wide receiver 5. He makes A-Rod happy, will provide some value on and off the field. $3 million for him is fine, in my opinion. Yeah, to be honest, it's not that crazy. Would I have liked him cheaper? Of course, but I'm not going to net pick that. Joe, well said. I've been struggling with that one. Appreciate the input. Absolutely, Joe. And again, I think a lot of people have been kind of split on the Cobb thing in general or the other stuff. Again, I just think it's just outside national people that the Jets are not normally in the news. And if they are, it's as the low-hanging fruit, the punching bag of NFL world. People love making fun of the Jets. So when all this stuff happens, like the Cobb signing, people go, oh, look at the Jets doing stupid stuff for Rodgers. They're going to be a loser like they always are. I just go, whatever, man. Like, if this is how you want to nitpick, this is how you want to dunk on the Jets wide receiver 5, I just feel like you're wasting your time. But hey, different strokes, different folks, I suppose. $3 million for Cobb would be pretty steep. That is his number. It is $3 million guaranteed, and I believe a $4 million ceiling, I believe is the number. So it is a little higher. Yes, he is, Ray. Good question. Is quarterback we drafted from LSU going to play some free safety? Jurek Bernard Converse. He could play everywhere. He could play safety. He could play outside corner. He could play nickel. And he has played all over the place. Before coming to LSU, he had some work at other positions as well. So he is this super versatile guy, can do a lot of different things. I think he's going to get some run at safety. Nell Kiper talked about him in the lead up to the draft as a guy that has the versatility to play both. We'll see what the Jets decide to do. It doesn't seem like the Jets, and this is a great question, Ray, and a greater question. It doesn't seem like the Jets are saying, like, okay, Carter Warren, you're a left tackle, who was the offensive tackle from Pittsburgh. All right, Jerick Bernard-Converse, you're a corner. Like, they don't seem to be making these overlaying decisions right now. They're going to kind of let these kids play it out in camp and OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. And then as they see them, they're going to say, okay, I think this guy can play this. I think this guy can play this, or vice versa. So not going to make any of those decisions immediately, but he certainly has the versatility. That's where I would play him personally. JBC, he's got elite traits, a ton of experience playing in college. That's where I would play him personally. I don't know if he's the grand answer for free safety, because obviously the Jets have a few issues on the back end there, but he's a guy I would love to pop in there. The Highlander Prime. Damn, man, I'm praying for your quick recovery. You got the will if you made it up to third or fourth degree. 100%. Yeah, like I said, I've been in Taekwondo since 2008. It takes 3 years to get your black belt if you make every test. And then for each belt, it takes that long. So second degree, 2 more years, third degree, 3 more years, fourth degree, 4 more years, master's, which is your 5th degree in a Kukiwon, 5 years, et cetera, and it goes on from there. So it does take a lot of willpower. Very easy to leave and, get frustrated or what have you, but you got to be committed. Ronald Perry, Ruckert's going to disappear. Yeah. While the coaching staff is saying he's going to pop, I just don't see where he emerges, to be honest with you, unless you do my plan of playing him in that Nick Bond fullback role. It seems like it's super hard. That's why I thought he could have been part of that Packers package, replace Ruckert instead of one of the draft picks going back to Green Bay, because it just doesn't seem like he has a clear path to the field. But injuries happen, all kinds of things happen, so maybe he will find his own unique path that we're just not seeing very clearly right now. That could happen. Anthony Joseph, yo, Boy Green, what's poppin', baby? Welcome to the show. Again, guys, feel free to share those comments in here. We'll be on for the next couple of minutes, maybe another 10, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So, yes, keep them coming. Highlander Prime, probably too many tight ends on the team, but the team wants to compete ASAP. So the rookie tight ends will be shelved unless they leapfrog the pros. Yeah, that's a problem. I was looking at the tight ends earlier. They got a lot of, and I have it right here in front of me with the Jets roster. They got a lot of interesting players. So we talked about the 2 veterans. So C.J. Uzomah and Tyler Conklin, they're locked in. They're not going anywhere. Then you have all the youngsters. You have Ruckert, he was a number 101 overall pick, so he's probably in from a draft status perspective. You have Kenny Yeboah, who can play some special teams. He's interesting. Zach Kuntz, 6'8", 251 pounds. I mean, he's a freak. His spider chart is impressive, but how does he get on the field? E.J. Jenkins, another interesting guy, 6'6", 245. I like a lot too. But there's just too many names. There's just not enough roster positions. Now, maybe if you squint, you keep 4. So you have Tyler Conklin, C.J. Uzomah, Jeremy Ruckert, and then maybe that 4th is Kuntz. But, I don't know, man. I just don't know how they all fit. Because if you take 4 tight ends there, then you're taking away from another positional group. You only have so many positions to keep. So, yeah, they may be iced, but then there's always the chance that, there's no more practice squad protection anymore. So those COVID rules are over. So if the Jets put Zach Kuntz on their practice squad, any team could swipe him right to their 53-man roster. That scares me a little bit. Ragnar, I think Kuntz gets a bit of reps throughout the season. Let him flash. If he makes it, again, tight end 4 is really his ceiling. Is he getting past Ruckert, who was a 101 overall pick? Probably not. He's not getting past Uzomah or Conklin. So maybe he's tight end 4, but it's hard to believe. But maybe this is another possibility. The Jets evaluate them as pass catchers. So maybe they keep one less receiver, but an extra tight end because they're catching the football and it all kind of works together. That's possible. Ray, ever seen the movie The Foot Fist Way? Hilarious Danny McBride movie based around Taekwondo. I have not. I will have to throw that on the list. I love martial arts movies or Taekwondo movies or any movies of that nature. So I will have to give that some proper love later. Great suggestion, Ray. I will look into that here later for sure. I love that one. Very nice. All right, let me see. I'm going back through our Robert Saleh comments. Again, you guys can always check this out on my Twitter account, @BoyGreen25. I share all the clips from the Jets press conference that stand out that I think are interesting in some way or another. The other thing I loved about we brought up the wish list thing. I thought Robert Saleh gave a really poignant comment about some of the his own wish list, that when he was hired by the Jets, here were some of the names on his wish list that he said he wanted with the Jets: Solomon Thomas, DJ Reed, Quan Alexander, Laken Tomlinson, Tevin Coleman. He said everyone, when change happens in the NFL, called it commonplace to bring guys in that could be, flag planters, that can help spread the message that you want guys in the locker room. So it's not just Robert Saleh barking orders, blah, blah, blah. Guys, do everything I say or else. Like, having guys sprinkled throughout the roster, like, again, a Cobb, a Lazard, or whatever. So as you're teaching these messages, when they go back home or they're hanging out with some of these receivers, Lazard can lay into him and say, hey, man, you got to work on this, got to work on this, work on this. And it's just kind of the constant message throughout the whole thing. So I think that's another part of the puzzle to me that's super important. And why I believe ultimately a lot of these investments are going to pay big dividends as we work our way through the season. It was also some of the fun stuff. Robert Saleh was in the nosebleeds at the Garden for the Knicks playoff game. Someone asked him, hey, what do you have to do to get courtside seats with Aaron Rodgers like Sauce got? He said, win a few more games. That was a funny comment earlier. Kaz asked him about if he knew Jessica Alba. The Jessica Alba Sauce Rodgers thing is hilarious and just makes us feel even more like, oh my God, like all this is really happening. So that's kind of cool too. I've really enjoyed some of those. Will McDonald is going to put on about 10 or 15 pounds, according to Saleh, once he kind of gets through the NFL program. He's kind of weighing around 240 right now. So 250, 255 is probably going to be the target weight for Will McDonald as he gets into a full rotation, which is interesting. So keep an eye out for that on Will McDonald on a weight perspective. There are a couple of guys. The Jets officially announced all their undrafted free agent signings today. There are a couple of guys that are trying out rookie minicamp. So here's the quick spiel before we get out of here. There are 3 days of rookie minicamp. The Jets just completed the first day today. They have 2 more days. First off, this is kind of a big acclimation period, a invitational, so to speak, for all the rookies the Jets drafted. We talked about them earlier. The undrafted free agents are on the 90-man roster. And then there are a few spots kind of hanging out there of guys that can impress in limited opportunities. Calvin Jackson, the wide receiver, last year did it, where you only get an invite to this 3-day camp. And at the end of it, you either get a spot on the 90-man roster or, sorry, pal, you didn't show enough and you're out. So there is an opportunity here for some kids to make some noise. It happened with Calvin Jackson last year. In less than ideal circumstances, he was able to show enough to the Jets coaching staff to get there. So let's keep an eye out for that and root for any of those guys. Those are always fun stories. There's a Dearborn kid that's got a Robert Saleh connection as one of the kids who's trying out. So we'll keep an eye out for some of those as well. Guys, thanks for joining me on a late night live stream on a Friday night on May 5th. Again, stay right here tuned to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/boygreen25, baby, because we're going to be giving you a couple more video clips, insights, all kinds of things. Robert Saleh is set to speak tomorrow at 2 o'clock, so we will give you some more insight on that. I'll be cutting up the best clips for Twitter. You guys can always find it there at boygreen25, and we'll be here on the YouTube channel with any kind of big takes, interactions, or things of that nature, big takeaways. So again, youtube.com/boygreen25, baby. Thanks for tuning in for this quick. We were on for like 50 minutes or so, but thanks guys for tuning in. We'll probably do some more videos tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned. Appreciate it, everybody. And get ready for the Meet the Fleet series. Again, that's where I talk to experts from where all these Jets draft picks came from, whether it's coaches, media people that covered them, so you guys can learn more about all these Jets rookies that are coming in. So hopefully you guys really enjoy that series. I've been doing that the last couple of years. Thanks everybody for all the well wishes on the leg. I will continue to be here for you, and I appreciate you guys being here for me. Thanks everybody, and we will see you next time. Take care.